Alright, you guys get ready to start, or should we wait a few more minutes?
I'm totally ready. Whenever y'all.
Alright. I don't know if I should do a preamble. Everybody's been here, right?
Yeah, I think we're all.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
all been here.
Yeah. Do the preambles in the evening. Everybody ready? I'll count down. 3, 2, 1, start.
Diana, have you seen this episode and the last?
I watched it when it aired, and so I don't remember when that. I think that was early 2020. Literally when everything was shutting down. So 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these episodes were like, I think they dropped like
at the end of
late
2019.
late 2019. Yeah.
Oh, so it's been 2 years since they've had a new season?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I didn't know. I was saying last night how I would love to have this job.
It's gotta be easy.
I would love to do audiobooks too.
It's a tough market. You gotta it's definitely lots of talent, and they clamor for jobs.
That would give me a heart attack too.
Say it again?
The balloon would give me a heart attack.
Right? I hate balloons.
Especially when you're not prepared for it.
Oh my god, the shot from up above. Holy moly. That was awesome.
She said fart. I just realized that.
I'm triggered by that subway scene. People do eat on the subway in front of you, and it's horrendous. Maybe not anymore after COVID, but that was a total thing.
I'd imagine that gets smelly.
Oh, you have no idea. One time though, there was a guy on the subway with like a full pizza, and I was like, okay, I can hang here.
I saw something like I think it was right before COVID, but like someone had an entire buffet on the subway for like homeless people in New York somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was kind of cool though. Like he had like tables and everything set up on the subway, and they were
Cabs are so expensive in New York. Doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at.
have cabs and things slowed down in New York because of like Lyft and Uber and stuff.
Yeah, it did for a while, but then the the taxi service, like they just kind of got it together and started maybe like operating more like Lyft and Uber, where you can like, you know, track and call. Like the problem with cabs is that like they would very much decide whether or not to take you somewhere, and that's like not
Right.
cool. So
Yeah.
now, like, because people have an alternative, they are a little bit better. But I personally have not taken a cab like since like Lyft. Like Uber, I was always like, I don't know about this. Like I was very, very like judgmental towards it for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And then when it became like more national, I was like, all right. But like I'm more of a Lyft kind of gal. But like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely still cabs for sure.
I think we all felt like that after a day of work and just hit the bed.
No, that was me the other day. I had like 3 hours of sleep and an all day trial.
Eek.
I think I just figured out why I liked the Paris episode so much. Like, we got to see them doing things other than being parents and just being socialites. You know, we got to see her interests and see them being happy. But here in New York, they don't do anything. So,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think I know this restaurant. I think I've been there.
oh, really? It's a real restaurant.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'd have to look. I feel like I've been there.
In the city?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely been there. It looks like a downtown restaurant that I've been to.
It just seems like a lost puppy. Feel so bad.
Gotta head out. I'll be back, y'all.
Okay. I wonder where they filmed this school, and what college, because the blackboards that slide up and down reminds me of somewhere. So what do you guys think?
I liked this the ending. It was
What do you think about her telling off uh, uh Jane Lynch's character? Sophie. Sorry, brain freeze there.
Sophie's had that coming for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think somebody needed to wake her up and um, you know, and make her realize, hey, what she's doing is wrong. But so it's good somebody finally said something to her. Would anybody else like to come up? I see you have a couple people on the bottom.
I really like this episode. I forgot about it, but I really, really like it.
Yeah, a lot happened in it, and a lot of different storylines going on at the same time. It is. I like the episode too. What what do you think about like Moshi trying to talk to his former colleagues and um, friends, and now they're kind of not talking to him anymore.
Did you mean Abe?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eve.
Oh no, no,
Oh,
that's fine. I was like,
yeah,
did I miss something? Because I was a little behind.
my head is yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because he left, like, and he left kind of in like disgrace. So that I get. I don't know. I didn't really think much of the Columbia stuff because it just seems like I don't know, like obviously Abe's on a different path, and I just don't really know why we needed that. Like, I don't know. It seemed like a lot. Um,
I feel like he's trying to go back almost. Yeah,
I think I think maybe he just needed a little closure because he left like, so abruptly and was like, no, I'm doing this other thing. And now that he's talked to Asher and he's like kind of come to the conclusion that um like the kids he was hanging out with like didn't really have it right. And now he's like written this manifesto. And so like, I feel like he maybe needed to remind himself like what he left to make sure it was the right thing. But I don't know, it just seemed a little bit much, but I don't know. But I feel like now he's in a more right frame of mind, whereas before when he sort of like quits Columbia, quits everything, all that stuff, and he sort of takes up with those kids, like he just seems like he's like I don't know, it's sort of the equivalent of like getting broken up with and then like getting a bad haircut. Like he just sort of like went so far in the opposite direction of like I got to get rid of all this stuff that's been in my head, and like now I feel like he having talked to Asher and having like sort of figured out what he wants to say, he can like maybe go back to Columbia and sort of very much say goodbye to it and make sure that he's making the right decision. But I also kind of don't get why they had to do like it's fine, but it was sort of a lot of the episode was in those couple of scenes where, sort of the ridiculousness of like chasing after his old colleague and, you know, um I don't know, I think it was like played for laughs too, which kind of felt a little out of place. So, not my favorite part of the episode.
yeah. I just feel like he just I don't know, like he almost like he quit because he just was fed up, but like now he's like he doesn't know what to do with himself and he's trying to figure that out. And but and like you said, he's trying to get closure to from so I agree with that. I don't know. We have to see what's gonna happen with him going forward. Um, uh, Nancy had said it was sad to see Midge return um, to her old home, and I thought I think I find that I feel like that too because it's the memories. If somebody's ever moved out of their childhood home, you have memories and things happening, even or kids grew up in a home and you have those memories. Um, but I found it kind of odd that she just walked into the apartment. Nowadays in New York, like you'd be shot or cops would be called, and um, yeah, you can't just walk into an apartment like that. I don't even think the doorman would let you up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the episode wanted us to see Midge and Abe go back to their old haunting, grounds, stomping grounds, what I should say. But like, I get it, but I also like, I'm not sure that we needed it. But whatever. I find the other parts of the episode like way more compelling. Like, um, the conversation between Abe and Midge about Phyllis Schlafly is really interesting because it sort of puts into the ether that like, she's in entertainment and like she's just collecting paychecks and like maybe not thinking through what she's doing sometimes. And he of course like knows exactly what the political landscape is, and so he's trying to educate her and and be like, hey, like think about what you're doing, like maybe it's maybe the money isn't worth it for specific things, and like even though you're making money, you kind of have to believe in what you believe, and and so that's what he's doing with the article that he writes and that he then takes a chance to in sending to the Times to publish. So I think it's kind of nice to see Abe like being able to teach his daughter something where like he's not sort of presented here as like an out of touch dad. Like he's sort of like, no, I'm still trying to tell you like what you do in this life, like what you believe in, what you pursue, what you collect money for, it matters. And so I liked that a lot. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna bring that up next. I'm glad you brought that up. Definitely. I feel like you know, you're what you say, and now that you're a public figure, and have consequences, and well, not just consequences, but like you know, people are gonna look upon you for what you say, and if you're supporting a certain um politician, and yeah, you could be looked wrongly upon now, and you gotta be conscious of what you say, and nothing. It's not always about the money, like you said. It's it's. I'm kind of glad she stopped herself from continuing and realized what her dad was saying was correct, and she was like, "Oh, and she stood her ground and said, "I'm not gonna do this piece and speak." Um, so I thought that was a big step, and like you said, it was good that Abe educated her, and um, he still has some sort of interest in what she does, um, and can help her.
What I love about Abe is that even when he's like, I just love their relationship. He is at odds with her a lot, but he really respects her. Like, he respects her intelligence enough to be like, here's what your support, like, here's what it is. Like, he doesn't just shove it off. Like, he's like, no, don't you understand? Like, this woman is this person. And like, he speaks to her in a way that doesn't underestimate her intelligence, which I think is really awesome because he knows his daughter is so smart, and like he knows that she's going to think about it and take it into consideration, which she does. So I really love that. And then I love the idea that like this is kind of this is so nuanced, but it's really interesting because like it's how our society works, and I don't know if it like started then or whatever, but like, entertainers tend to be called upon for um for advertising and all that stuff because, they're skilled at speaking in public and all that stuff. And so it's really interesting that she's an entertainer. She can speak on stage. She has an act that she does, which is like, based on her life or sort of written as such. And getting these gigs to do these commercials is definitely lucrative. Like it's money in her pocket in a way that like doing shows is a little bit harder to come by, especially, now that she's not on tour anymore. Like, this is sort of diversifying her entertainment profile is like, oh, I could also do ads. And, you know, I always think about that when I hear like a celebrity in an ad. I'm like, that's like that's not quite performance in the same way that like they're acting in a movie or a TV show. They're sort of endorsing this product, just by lending their voice to it, even if they're getting paid to do it. So it's a really interesting um, uh, thing that's going on here is that she's lending her voice, her actual voice to products and campaigns and all of that. And so it's I don't know, I think it's a interesting moment for Midge to now be having to separate her beliefs from a paycheck. It's not just a play that she's doing, she's supporting. It's like the scene where she's like, this is pornography, like I'm not doing pornography, like in that moment she knows like exactly what it is and what she doesn't feel comfortable doing, so she says no, you know what I mean, like, and so that's what happens there. But Phyllis Schlafly, like, she's just like, oh, I'm just reading words on a page, like no big deal. And it's kind of the same because you're endorsing something with your voice, getting paid for it. And that's what celebrities do all the time. Like, like I said, like eh, people lend their likeness or voices to companies and brands to sell it. And so you kind of sometimes associate that celebrity with that brand, So it's something to consider as an entertainer, that she has to now also think about that if she's going to get into this like consumer space as well, just to make more money. So it's interesting.
I also found it interesting that they weren't even paying them in money all the time. They were paying them in products. The product that they're advertising, and you know so I wonder, um it did they do that back then? The companies, if they're just starting, did they not be able to provide a big income, so they would give the product to promote and to um
Well,
as a
I
form
I
of
think that's kind of normal advertising behavior, like um the product is sometimes the part of the payment, or at least it's like um they give the product to the person doing the ad because like the person needs to do the ads, they need to understand the product. So I think that's kind of normal. um I also think like, the tampons or the, like the what are they called, the Persets, which I think is a real company. um I think it was also like played for laughs. So but like we see people like who advertise products now, like whether it's like on a podcast or like on their blog or whatever, they get product all the time and then like, give it away or sell it off, or like that's just kind of part of companies. That's their part of their budget, is to um overproduce product for like for testing and stuff like that, for like for people who are going to be advertising for them. So yeah, I just kind of thought that was funny though, with the boxes of feminine products on the subway. I mean, I definitely have seen the worse on the subway, but yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, like again, like, lending her voice to that is different than lending her voice to like something else. So I don't know. But it is lucrative. Like that voiceover work would have been very lucrative, I think.
I, I don't know. Maybe you do, but like, is that like based off like, do you get money based off how often it airs, or do they just give you like one price and that's it? Because then I feel like it's like, um, you get paid. It's not something a consistent paycheck. But I might be wrong.
I think I don't actually know. And it probably works different for radio than TV. Um, I think the ad buyers, um, so the ad buyers at the stations where the ad would be um played, they negotiate all that stuff. So like they'll be like, okay, we're gonna buy this spot from you and run it this many times a day during these shows or whatever. And I think, just like TV, like you negotiate for like what shows you want your ad played during. And also, I mean, it probably was true that on the radio there might have been ad blocks where they do, like, I really don't know, but I feel like this is true, like they would do, ad blocks of like different, like maybe a half hour of ads in a row, like that type of thing. But generally how it works even now is that you buy an ad, but like you decide in the negotiation like how much of that ad you're buying, meaning like when you're gonna run it and how often you're going to run it, and so the price varies based on that. So like the talent, though, the talent in the ad, they get paid by the company who's advertising, like on whatever fee. So I feel like if it's a celebrity, they go through an agent, a celebrity's agent, and like negotiate based on that. So I don't know if for ads there's actually, yeah, for ads, I think there is maybe a royalty to the talent, but I don't know how it works. It's probably really nuanced, because there's just so many different types of ads now. So I don't know, like what it would be, and I would imagine that it's different depending on who you are. So you know, I don't know. I actually know some voiceover actors. I should probably ask them, like, when you do an ad, like how much do you get, like how do you get paid? Because yeah, I think when it is played more, they can get paid more. But I don't know who does, like, I don't know how the negotiations work. Like, I guess your agent would negotiate your recording fee and then also the royalties that you would get afterward. Whereas, like, the ad buyers at the stations and like the company selling the ads, like their salespeople would negotiate exactly how much is being played and how often and where and when and like all that stuff. So I feel like there's just a lot of negotiations that go on. And it's possible that like when they're making that negotiation, like say they have like a huge star doing the voiceover that they have to pay, that would probably go into like how they're negotiating it in terms of how much it's going to cost. Like, so I don't know. Um, it's a good question. I should ask. But here too, the producers that they were working with, that was really interesting because I was trying to figure out like how, like, those were the producers from the TV show that Lenny did. The sorry, not the, it was from the telethon. So like those are the same producers. So I don't know if like maybe I missed it, but maybe like Susie hooked up with those producers again, was like, hey, like let's use her, and like for whatever next thing you're doing. And maybe they were like, yeah, we're producing a bunch of commercials, like she can, let's get her a contract, whatever. um
Yeah,
that could have been how it went. Yeah.
yeah. I felt like that was like random that she just like the episode started with her doing the voice work, and they didn't really talk about it and
Yeah,
into
they
the business
didn't.
and stuff.
But I would imagine that's how it works because like the producers know she's probably really good, and so they're like, oh yeah, great, like we'll contract you for all these commercials that we've been contracted to record. So
Yeah,
like when the companies sell the ads, then they employ another company to like record the ads. So like, those producers were in a good spot because they're like, hey, we got like a bunch of companies we're doing ads for that we can cast you in. So like they take care of the casting. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like I'm always fascinated by that stuff, and I definitely like want to kind of look up more about it.
definitely. Yeah, we should look that up and maybe talk about that tomorrow in the rewatch.
Well, yeah, because it's all
That,
about like I love this episode because it's all about like diversifying one's talent.
yeah,
So, Sophie also like breaking into serious acting is part of her diversification of talent, and like how she's known as a celebrity, for her talent. So like if Midge can do stand up and like random advertisements, like of course Sophie can be Sophie from Queens and also a serious actress. Like that's a decision she can make, and of course she doesn't make that. But like,
yeah,
I think that's really interesting to think about artists like this in 1960, just like not just being known for one thing, you know what I mean, like doing a couple different things and then creating a more of a diverse profile of like how they can work is kind of interesting. I don't know if that was like done before this.
yeah. That's a good question. Yeah, because normally you would have actors who just do voice work, and then I guess like movie actors, and that'd be that's an interesting question. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean
Um,
like this is definitely in Hollywood at the time, like that's the old studio model where like the actors are owned by the studios and then they're just like placed in roles that the
yeah,
studios are producing, and they're usually like pretty similar roles. So like, you have your leading ladies and your leading men and like all that stuff, and it doesn't really change. And so when we look at those actors from this point and we look back, we're like, oh yes, Clark Gable was like this type of actor. But then we can
yeah.
look at a more modern actor and be like, oh wow, they did this and this and this and this and this, and like that, they're known for like different types of things. So I don't know, it's kind of
And
it's
like
kind of interesting.
now I feel like nowadays I feel like they use more celebrity to promote products, or maybe in the past it was unknown actors who did commercials and voice work. I might be wrong, but I try to like think about commercials when I was a kid, and I didn't know any of the actors who did it, and then later on they might have became famous actors, like, but I'm not sure. Um, yeah, it'd be interesting to. I should probably look it up, and I'm not.
Well, it's really like now it makes sense if you're a big company to hire a celebrity to like and spend all that money because the celebrity is
Yeah,
going to be more expensive than, you know, a voice actor that is maybe unknown in some cases. So like it makes sense for the company to hire, like, I mean, just watching the Super Bowl the other night, I was like, wow, it's so interesting to get like all these companies get these giant celebrities to be in their ads, and like it makes sense because they know that that is going to go
so
viral, or like, like it that or and the big celebrity is so recognizable that they're, the customer base will be like, oh, I know that guy, I'm going to buy that car, you know what I mean, like that's just kind of how it works.
it's just
um
it's just like if you watch you know any sports um or like you said like commercials. If you watch a sport, like I like college football, and you see the branding on their jerseys and stuff, and oh, that's a, it's they're selling the image and the product without even trying. Like it's just the same with like ads. If you see a celebrity, who's gonna wear Nike sneakers. Oh, I'm gonna want to go buy those Nike sneakers. But
Yeah, and it's the same for Sophie. Like they know that having a big name like hers on a marquee will bring people in. I heard John saying that last night at Late. Um, that's now how Broadway works. Like
yep,
um,
it
you
was
always know a
advertised that one like famous actor like Hugh Jackman, and then yeah, and it draws the people in.
I mean, yeah, like Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster can sell a show very easily. I mean, that's just how it goes. And also like Broadway will bring in a celebrity when they're like, maybe ticket sales are down and they're due for a new cast. Like they'll bring somebody in because they know that the people will come to see that person. So that makes sense for me. For Sophie, it was sort of like, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, it's definitely a hard sell for Susie to do, but it's also kind of like, this is a perfect opportunity for Sophie because she isn't unknown. She can do this, and if she's good at it, it can change her whole profile of like actor, comedian. It could lead to some really interesting opportunities down the line. And people will come because it's Sophie. And so it's really interesting that the audience is totally fine with her breaking character because they're there because they're a fan of Sophie Lennon, and Sophie from Queens. So it's really, I don't know, it's interesting, but like it seems like a success in a way, but it's definitely not because she's definitely just tanked her career. But
Yeah, so she tanked her career in regards. So I wondered, you know, do the audience really know that she broke character? I mean, like I know, like when you go to a play or a show, you watch it, you don't notice the mistakes or oh somebody missed the line or somebody something dropped or so the audience did they just think that's part of the show? Or do you think they noticed that like that something changed there?
well, Miss Julie, I think, is a known play. So I think there
Uh,
is a sense of like, this is not what and also I something dumb I was thinking about when I was watching, because I did go to a Broadway show last night, is that like, you know, they would have had like their playbill and like read what the scenes are supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, so the
yeah,
fact that she threw it all out the window is kind of interesting, and that the audience doesn't care. I mean, that's on them, but like they would have known that something is definitely different, I think.
yeah, like it's off. But yeah, I think she did ruin her career, which is sad, but I feel like she choked and that was it. And maybe by Susie telling her off, it'll be a wake up call, like uh, you know like she's got to get herself together.
I don't know if it's a wake up call. I guess we'll see. I think she kind of knows, but she's still indignant. I mean, she's definitely like,
Yeah,
this is your fault. This is, how dare you? Um, she's in like quite a bit of denial about what just happened. Um, and I think she's used to being um catered to so much that she doesn't really realize that um the theater community, like the producers and all the people who spend a lot of money on these things to get it off the ground, are like definitely never going to hire her again, and might not hire Susie again. I mean, that's huge that she put her in that position and she doesn't seem to care. And like that's something that I really like about this show, is that it is the behind the scenes about like show business, and how it's not just about the star, but it is really about like how deals are made, and the people who never see on stage, but like actually have a lot to lose or gain from the star. So for Susie, it's kind of a huge deal that Sophie just did this, because Broadway's a small community, and she will be blacklisted from it, like 100%, because she's the one who convinced everyone to make it go. So it's
And
kind of really bad.
yeah, and it hurts Susie, like you said, because now it, it makes Susie look bad that she got her to, come on, you know, to do the play, and that Susie convinced them, she's good for it, she's right, and then this happens. It looks bad for her too, and it affects her trying to get acts in the future if she takes on other acts. I don't know, because I don't know what her future holds in the show, but um, you know, it, it doesn't look good if you're the manager of somebody who does something like that. So you're affected too. It's all a triple down effect.
Yeah, I like it. I like this. We get to see the behind the scenes of show business. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I never knew all the hard stuff behind it. I just thought, hey, they go, they do. But yeah, you realize it's hard to get at, like Midge, to get performances and everything. If she wasn't with Shy, what would she be doing now? Well, she'd be doing voice acting, but I mean, just in general, like you take what you can, I guess. Uh, Anybody else or anything else want to talk about? All right. I guess we could close the room. Um, thank you guys for coming. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tonight, hopefully. Have a good evening. Enjoy work if you're working.
Bye.
Bye.